Welcome, everyone, to the 163rd Knowledge Seekers Workshop of the Keshe Foundation Spaceship Institute. And once again, we are here for another workshop with Mr. Keshe of the Keshe Foundation, as well as other knowledge seekers around the world with various contributions as we go along. And I think we have a full show today, so without further ado, let's see if we can connect with Mr. Keshe there. Is that you in the background there, Mr. Keshe?
Yes, good morning. Good day to you as usual, whenever and wherever you listen to these knowledge seekers. I was asked and I've received a number of communications in respect to the back end of the teaching of last week. Why we have gone and opened in respect to the question of Mr. DL. This thing cannot be isolated. We've been told by the securities, we've been told by the police. There are certain things when we release, the response brings back more information for them. And in a way, last week, disclosures, and now that the security has released, the companies which now, one has been claimed to be a fake, which is a government website, because now it shows what they call it, defrauding the Belgian government since 1980s, has been called a fake, and we've been asked and we've been told, why do you carry on? You have to understand one thing. Our problem is not ours. These people are creating problems for themselves in a way of, as we saw with the Sterling. They have got away with so much that they challenge us, see if you can capture me. And in one of their comments last week, we have been reported to be said, I'm still free. So it means the person is already criminal. That has pushed the police and intelligence and securities to go further. A man who says, I'm still free, it means I've done something wrong, you haven't caught me yet. This is an admission to guilt and defrauding. What has happened is that since last week, since the disclosures of the companies in Panama, in Luxembourg, in Australia, and the Singapore one, which has not been released yet, all brings to the one point that the setup to destroy scientists, to destroy the work of scientists, to steal technology for scientists is a natural habit. I have to thank the Belgian public who has started sending us information and in fulfilling a lot of information, because they understand, they know where in their languages they can go to. And if you're searching for more, please send it to webmaster at the Spaceship Institute that you have found some more information, and we pass it on to the police. What else we have received since last week is absolutely amazing. As you have seen, the securities have released the facts and the truth about Sylvester. The email from the Knights of Malta has been released by them, and other defrauds. But what we see is that there is a pattern of work, and these people work together because they're of the same, and they all somehow end up in Singapore. Sylvester was in Singapore, February of this year. Others who work with us and they try to defraud the foundation end up in Singapore. A lot of you might ask the question, why? This is where they go and get paid. This is where a lot of money by DL and its associates have been hidden. We have all the proof. As you've seen, we released the name of the company in Australia and the rest of it. A disturbing fact has been brought by public to us, which we did not know, we were not aware of, and this puts a total seal on the operation of DL. Some of you must have been very interested to know how one man could come up with so many patent applications. You have to remember what I say. Patent application. DL has never received a patent as far as we can search, unless you can come up or he can put up. You got to understand, he tells you where he has stolen, but we never listen till the public, Belgian public who know their ways, have opened the door for us. If you remember, a simple fact, in all his communication and in all his presentations, even is done with us, he says he was a high-ranking civil servant at Ministry des Affaires Économiques. And at that high level, you've seen him explaining he knows ex-prime ministers and the rest of it. But what the public has brought us, he said, do you know what this ministry is? Do you know where he sat in that ministry? Do you know he's been sacked from that ministry? He did not walk out. This is what they tell us. But we ask the question, what is that building? What is the place? They said something very interesting. All the patents of people who submit patents to Belgium government or patent office goes in the basement of that building. Is kept by this division. And when you're at a high rank, you have access to anything. You can steal any patent. That's why then we came to another point that is very easy. He's been stealing patents from scientists, writing a parallel the way he did with Keshe Foundation, going to China and making a Casimir effect battery. It's actually nano battery, which we all produce, different name. He's done the same thing with the cubically happy. He has no patent on it. It's been brought to our attention. He copyrighted after intimidating the patent owner, which is a gentleman called From, F-R-O-M. Securities released these documents that you can see. He has stolen, intimidated anyone as a top rank. He could see the patents coming in. That's why he was kicked out of the ministry. Because then they could not say, your patents are getting stolen by our management, discrediting the nation and the office of the ministry. Now, this is the information we receive. So now we know the high level being with ministers, what it meant. He had access to any patent came in, what he could do, and this has opened a very big Pandora. Now we know he still has contact. He still gets the latest, what he thinks he can copy in different name, and he puts in an application. He has never gone as far as it can be seen a full patent. He has never received a patent. As far as it can be seen, they tell us. So even the Qubili, happy Qubili, very correctly is a stolen copyright. There is no patent. The patent is owned by Belgium. His name is, and you can check it. So you see, this is the habit of a thief. This is what is called Ministry of Economic Affairs. So now we know why he left the job. He was kicked out of the job stealing patents. Strange enough, we have found in Antwerp Gazette an article by a gentleman called Perrin, who has exposed this, and he intimidated everyone the same. But there is something fundamentally which has been found out and we've been asked to release. The gentleman who had the copy or the patent put in 1982 of the, what he has called it in a different way, name, has died. Guess how? Do you remember Mr. Slout in Holland? The biggest scientist in computer technology compression, died of heart attack. Heart problem. Guess what? From has died of the same. Now we see a pattern in him poisoning. The same thing he did with Caroline, the same thing he did with me, the same thing is done with others. Now the police is looking at a serial killer. What we're receiving from public in Belgium is he had not even had mercy on his mother. He would have had, because he values nobody's life. He has mercy on no one as long as he can steal. Now we see connection with another theft of patent. But his copyright, and he's intimidated the patent owner to get it he didn't give, so he was poisoned the same way. Don't forget, with his own poison, he had a brain hemorrhage and heart attack. So you see, it's the pattern what it does. He's been brought up in Africa. He knows how to use poisons to kill. Heart attack, all heart. Himself, from, we've seen with the Slot, we've seen with me and Caroline, and many others. We have started an investigation in the serial killer. We have received another information, which we would like the public to say. As you know, he says he divorced his wife or separated from his wife in 1992. A strange thing has come up by public to us. He was having an affair with a wife of a very well-known dentist, and she had to be get rid of, but she did not die in the accident. The wife found out he's on the street, so he's killed many. We are not talking hypothetic. We delivered everything. Now the securities will release all the patterns of Mr. From, F-R-O-M, is the patent owner of the Cube, original patent owner. And if you check, DL never had a patent. He copyrighted and intimidated. That's why he lost his case in America, because he had no right. It's strange enough, Belgian public have started defending themselves because this is giving a bad name to the Belgians. Now they start searching about DL and what is done. What we see, this pattern of work stays with the company in Lowen. And what we said with the head of European Space Agency, because they work together the same way. They have access to all the pattern coming in, how to intimidate, they kill some, they lubricate the others. That's why all the companies offshore has come. We don't make allegations. These are what it is. So what we have asked the police of Holland, we have asked the prosecutors in Belgium to resume 3 bodies. One is of Mr. Slout. One is of From. And for security, as one Belgium said, there is no mercy. A man like this have no one, even not the mother. These pattern of destroying people he does not like, or don't agree with him, or he steals from them, has repeated itself over 30 years. We are dealing with one of the biggest serial killers. Police in Italy, prosecutors in Belgium, police in Holland, and now police in America is looking, because he's traveled and he has copied other scientists in US. He have not received any patent. People like to see, we asked the question, they said they're checking. So he just, all it does, he steals and puts a patent application, and then he runs with it to see what he can do. The only one which he ever made money out of was cubically happy, because it was stolen, it was already made and it was shown, because another scientist in Japan made another version of it. He couldn't patent it. What is in public cannot be patented. Now you see we're dealing with the biggest thief of science, of technology, and anything anybody comes up. We could not understand how this man continuously comes up with huge patents, because now we know now. He sits at the top of the Ministry of Economy Affairs, where the wolves downstairs hold the patents of all the nation. He has free, nobody asks questions. Do you remember the movie where The prisoner was given the freedom of the helping the head of the prison, and then he took everything, evidence from the head of the prison, what he was doing wrong, and he could walk away. It's the same. He's stolen everything. He's stolen from his nation, and all he's done is patent application. So we are dealing with a serial thief and serial killer. Now, a pattern of killing family, killing friends, poisoning scientists, poisoning anything else which might come, shows a pathological liar, which is one of the biggest thing made police officers tell me, if he says Panama is a copy which we have a URL, it directly goes to the government of the Panama, what about the rest of it? So investigation by the finance ministry, exactly where he came, economic or finance of Belgium, on the L has started heavily. Investigation on the murder of the family members and other scientists through the same way, heart attack, heart problem. He had a heart attack and the fear of what we saw. So we thank you, Belgian citizens. We lived amongst you, we have respect for you. But now you see how one by one of you were discredited because the website of the Keshe Foundation was a lucrative path for him. We are asking for 3 bodies to be moved and the remains to be tested for different kind of poisons. We hope we can find them after 30, 40 years. We hope that we can close this chapter. Do you remember the case of the doctor in Manchester? Over 300 murders to get the money from pensioners. Not very long ago, 10 years ago. Now we deal with another serial killer. Maybe all this heavy writing in past year, the same we saw with Sterling, is to get me. I want somebody to capture me. I want somebody to show me. I want to stop, but I can't. That's why we saw Sterling making videos and talking about it so openly, about abuse and all sorts. He is crying out, catch me. I'm still free. You see, you haven't caught me. This is his own writing. This gave the police and the rest incentive to go further. And at the same time, public is providing us with a lot of information about him. His affairs and how some women have disappeared and the children have disappeared. We would like to know the name of the lady is Goget. And believe it or not, what we told you about, the body's buried in Knokke last week. We've taken pictures. Guess where she lives? Knokke. Knokke Haste. It's the beach front. It's where if you go, children, youngsters can be picked up freely and can be disposed of freely. If you look on the map of Belgium, you see Knokke Haste and Knokke. He's a tourist, busy, nobody suspects. You can pick up anything and then you take a picture. So we thank you, Belgium citizens. Please enlighten us more, because whatever you give us goes back to the police. Now we know the gentleman who says made a lot of money out of cubically being happy. He has stolen from another man, intimidated him, being a man of power at the ministry, that he most probably going to get the guy for this and that. Not giving, he poisoned him. He didn't die being young, so, and it's will be published. We don't accuse, it's in a newspaper published by another inventor who he intimidated but he could not steal from. It's in Belgium newspapers. He escaped with it. They brought it out, but he escaped because he was, as he said, very highly influential person at the Ministry of Finance. But if you can kill your own blood, you can kill anybody. You remember when we released information about Sterling raping his own 2 children and he walked out. This guy will not, because it's a lot to lose. We are asking more or less a lot of people we came across in past 30 years for remains to be tested. We are not making any accusation. As we said last week to you, we deliver the Panama bank account, Luxembourg and the rest we did. Very clearly, we said it'll be done, and it's done. Our supporters are hacking it and taking it in with him, trying to see how he is doing such a huge, huge, huge murders, stealing, and is getting away with it. The prosecutors in Belgium at the moment want to stop because they don't know if you open how many bodies we're going to take, how many bodies we have to exhume, how many places we have to look for. Do not forget, he works on a coastline. Antwerp to Knokke-Heist. It's a long road. And on that line, you can bury a lot of bodies. If you had no mercy on your own giver of life, how can you have mercy on others? The family have had concern for years. They are reading it. They are following the foundation work and they are releasing. Belgians are following the work. Our security is following the pattern of his work. This is the worst kind of mankind we could ever call. There is no kindness but evilness. Now you know why he's been reading and writing and talking so much. And they go together. If you look at Sylvester, what the security has released on the website shows he claimed to have a pattern for nanomaterials or whatever when he was interviewed, when he came for a job, and we found out this is stolen from another man. So they're all the same. They work the same. All has been released on facts about that by the securities. Do not forget, everything you see on security is shared by the 4, 5 police, what do you call it, forces, national forces. It is not anymore just what you read. They are there, they are monitoring, they are finding out how he has managed to get away with so many murders. If you can kill the creator of you, how can you have mercy on the others? He has intimidated. We could not understand. He always bragged about being a high level person at Ministry of the Economy. But one piece of the story was not told. As a top level officer, he had access to all the patents in the basement, all the patent application form. So you and I, after work, go home. The gentleman goes in the basement stealing patents. Cube, happily cubed. And how can he be the highest patent application submitted? Yes, of course. You have access to the bank of it. And there is a rumors by the Belgians that there is still somebody in that basement who's giving him what he wants. And that's why he's coming up with different patents. Man has no intelligence. And as it was said by the Fosse, one day you are an expert in cosmology, the next day you're an expert in medicine. Now we know why. The experts have written, put it as a pattern. It's very easy. You have access to it, you steal it. So there is an inquiry starting in the Ministry of Economy that now is not safe even to give patent to the patent office in Belgium. Because we've seen another man who is on the same track and has become the head of one of the biggest space organizations in the world. So I thank you as member of the public. You are Belgians, you can read it. The documents have been told by the securities in respect to the cube from will be released in a coming time that you can check. We do not talk out of line. We talk very correct because we stand our evidence. There is no accusation that he has had access to basements, the center of the patents, and is in Antwerp Gazette. This brought us to look. There is a fantastic reading. If you want, it can be read. The reading of it is very simple. What it says, I'll read you a chapter of it. This is a public press paper. We are not making it up. That he has access to everything. He's stolen the what he calls his famous invention. It's not his invention. The guy hasn't invented a peanut. He's stolen it from a hardworking scientist who has many patents. His patents all been approved. So he knew where to look. Whatever this guy puts in from, he can steal it. In 1981, during the episode on University of Flanders in 1981, he worked at the Ministry of Economic Affairs. When with a Brussels resident as a patent a few years later. So he had access to all of it. Now we know the man with the most patent is the biggest thief on the scene of the patent. DL, you're exposed. DL, the police on its way to you. Because now we found another man dying of heart problem after a long time because you poisoned him. The same as you did with me. The same as you did with the Slav. The same as you most probably done with some of your own blood, Belgians. The bodies are going to start turning up. And you said, I'm still free. This was the biggest mistake, was writing this. The police is on it. I'm still free. It means you haven't caught me yet. This is your own writing in the past 2 weeks on facts about Keshe. And as we've seen, the securities have released all the data, and more will be released about Sylvester stealing the letter, the email from the Knights of Malta, and they're hoping that he'll be caught by the police when he goes back, because he accused them of murdering. You don't accuse an organization of murdering you, and you take refuge with the other ones. And in even a letter he says they have no contact with Masons, but this is not the pattern of the Masons. And so we see criminals working together. Sorry to be like this, but we saved. I was explaining to Armin this morning. He said, you're putting a lot of effort into this. I said, yes, I made a promise. I made a promise to the soul of Fabio, and now we get him. But I said to him something very simple. I said, you know something? We got Sterling into prison for life. I don't care how many people which we don't know he's damaged, raped. According to him, he raped 2 of his own daughters. Just imagine. The child, his own daughter, now goes to sleep knowing that the dad cannot touch her anymore. The child can live in peace. And we see the same thing with DL. You were all puzzled. The biggest submitter of applications, none has been approved as long as they can tell us. Sure, he most probably come up with something somewhere. You can put application anywhere. Any of you can do. I open mine immediately in the hand because he served humanity. He intimidated the patent owner, poisoned him, doesn't die, heart problem. He died later on after heart problem, the same problem he was poisoned by, and copyrighted. He does not have a patent and nothing but intimidation, murder, and serial murder, serial killer. When you don't have mercy on your own creator, how can you have mercy on others who were created peacefully by other mothers? We are dealing with a habitual, as he calls himself, a liar, now a murderer. Many cases. Please sue us. Please bring the case to the court. You, you challenge us with a logo, we send you a 360,000 per month bills which you are not paying, using us to promote your work. Challenge the Keshe Foundation. I'm meeting with the securities and the police. How are we going to bring you in? Now we are going to exhume 3 bodies, maybe more. And one victim, he had to pretend, I love her, but it was no love. It's the fear of what she might talk, how she was put to be killed. The wife of a very famous dentist. Intimidation and abuse, and she managed to shackle him off after years. That's why the wife divorced him, because would you like to see what happened? A tree with a car wrapping around, murder disguised in accident, attempted murder disguised in accident. So you got to understand why we speak about this man, because he got too close to the foundation and he set up my murder, attempted murder, my wife, and he managed to kill Fabio. We have found link between him and Eastern Bloc Albania. If he's not released by the securities, he'll be released soon. We don't fabricate, we don't copy. We release directly. We are working very close with prosecutors in Belgium. We are working very close. This is a huge case. This is not something, they say we know where he is, he can't move. We are watching him 24 hours a day, he can't go anywhere. They are not using even Belgian police force to watch him, that he can be bribed by the higher order through the other sites he's connected to. He's monitored by European police section, because his murders has crossed 3 borders: Holland, Belgium, Italy. We think there are numbers in Germany. There is a discussion to inform German police to open files. So why we do this? Because his work has damaged the foundation's trust in each other, because that's how they work. By creating mistrust, we go forward. The newspapers in Africa will release his name and the warrant for his arrest to be issued for the child trafficking. They are working on it. We had meeting with the news and the government. They have found how he is the center of trafficking children. How is done? They could not see it. Once we show them, they start working on it. They said, we've seen it, we couldn't understand. And it's done by white girls, mainly Belgium, in orphanages. We released the newspaper cuttings and the newspaper when it's released in public. These are the newspapers which Sylvester and the team have been pressurizing. When they start pressurizing, they said there is something wrong because these people are serving the nation. They start digging. What is that they have to lose, that they have to hide like this? So now you understand the Korean government is onto Mr. Sylvester in a very heavy way. We are meeting with the officials. They are getting delivery of the information on a continuous basis, whatever we gather. There is a track record with all the people who come in the past 18 months since we opened the door of Sterling. People we saw, child trafficking, through orphanages. They all have connection with working with the orphanage, because that's where their master pays them. How many children can they traffic? You saw the women who turned up supporting. You saw Kumaran turned up. You saw the 2, what do you call it, people who are around him all the time, they all have connection. Even the black man who came to assassinate us while Sylvester was sitting in a theater, lecture theater, has a connection with the orphanage. Very strange in Caribbeans. They are collecting children from all over the world for their master. And look, they all end up in Singapore. Government of Singapore has to start looking and start shutting their companies in Singapore because they know now they're on track. They are trying to shut as fast as they can before they get caught. Don't forget, they pay people to buy to intimidate. One of the Keshe Foundation directors in China was offered $100,000 to silence that they could patent the Kashmir in China, nobody knows. But he did not sell the Keshe Foundation out. $100,000. So we know the pattern. Kill, intimidate, if you can't, disgrace that you can steal. So, we are a scientific teaching, but these criminals on the back of our teaching are gathering children. We have found a new website which, with his own face, he asked and he set up Children Internet. It's on the EL's website. Securities, if they haven't released it, they will release it for you. So it shows a pattern. We showed how they were looking for 6-year-old girls, blondes, put them on the belly last time. Now we found another one. It's owned by the EL, and funny enough, the page which asks for Children Internet, when you click on it, ends up in a porn magazine, in a porn website. Securities will release it. We are not releasing blue, but it shows how when a child clicks to go to on the internet to see a child internet, ends up in porno. Which means in this section we have children you can watch. The domain is owned by DL. The domain is registered and owned by DL. It tells you child internet, you click on it, takes you to a porn section. So we see the pattern of the work. Why do children need to go to a porn page? A porno should not be for children's internet. Security, please release this, and we understand the pattern. His picture, actually his face is on the page, on that page, and the child face internet for children. You click on it. We've been told and we've been shown the page where he puts it there. So when we said he was after children and all that, now you see him. That time he uses children. This time it's his own face on the page, on the web page, and a child being happy. Is actually the man who's happy is him who got another children. And the ones who go and see what's the internet, most probably pedophiles. We are all familiar with the story which is going on about pizzas. I wonder if they give them most probably spaghetti. So why we have to do this is to protect the foundation. The damage which they think they've done, but they served us very well. And it's time for murderer of your own blood to end up in your own blood. We'll force through international police forces for taking the bodies out, testing to see if and how any, after so many years of the remains, we can find a common denominator trace of poison. We know it's arsenic. We know it's been given, you can give it to your mother in small dosages without her knowing, she dies of diseases. Nobody knows. That's how they gave it to me. They laced with John the papers in the teaching room. Those days we didn't have this writing pad. As I was teaching under the camera, taking page by page, I was poisoning myself. This is what the Italian police have found out. pages being poisoned, and then they gave me a soup to finish. He helping to write the book the first time in the pictures of it and correcting how pictures going to be. He gave me poison, and the last chalice which I was supposed to take, stupid guy drank it himself and he had a heart attack. How come everybody around him have a heart attack? Everybody dies of heart failure. This time the murderer drank his own chalice of poison by mistake. And then he took a picture because he knew he's got the book now. He could show to his masters, I know what is written, because that time nobody knew we are writing a book. We were not in public, that's A. So he could claim the book to be his. The technology is his. Now you understand why poisoning. He could claim everything. But unfortunately, he ended up in hospital, and while he was in hospital, we managed to publish the book. Please, Belgian public, you read your own language. You are helping us, you're sending us a lot of information. We thank Lawrence's family for the information you're downloading to us. I respect you, the integrity of what you're doing, and I thank many of Belgians who are delivering huge amount of information, like not knowing why he was kicked out of Ministry of Finance. The same as, remember, Sylvester? I left because they wanted money for me and they wanted to kill me. I left ministry to do the cubically cubed, but in fact he was kicked out because he stole the cubes. And then, thinking he's become very rich, opening beforehand Panama accounts, companies, and the rest of it. I said many times, shame on you to be on this planet, Leo. Now we know how you killed another man. My respect goes to his family, the same as we're collaborating with the Slot's family now with the police. We will start the resumption of bringing and in a way showing the pattern when and how he stole from the basement of the ministry or from the storages of ministry. He must have been monitoring every single pattern which was coming in. He's a thief by habit. We see compression out of nowhere. Now, Mr. Defosse, we got your answer. How come he's one day this and the other day? Because he's got access through ministries. Don't forget, he's still paying people off in the ministries to give him whatever comes in the latest. That's why you can. How many of you can come with so many patterns of different subjects? Unless you have access to the vault. When you have the key to the museum of the cars, you choose which car you want to take. When you have access at the head of the section, what do? They cannot sack him in a way of public way, because then nobody gives patent, because they are stealing in our place where we give it to be stolen. So they got rid of him. It's there. Read it. Newspaper of Gazette of Antwerp. He lives in Antwerp. It's an Antwerpian who has opened him as a thief and who owns the patent. The patents will be released by security of the man who actually owns it. He has no patent. He's just copied when say I have a copyright, intimidation and killing. So please, our Belgium readers, please search more and bring us more, because it's getting to the point that this man has to be stopped before he kills more. Read about, go on the internet, open the internet, and on the other hand, read what goes on the many things he has registered. He has now is registered for a talking internet blue for children that they can, and it's again stealing from one of the biggest toy manufacturers. It is very interesting how a man who came to destroy, he was begging to get me. I'm still free. Nobody has managed. We saw that with Sterling. Strange enough, go on the internet and look at Global Crystal Network. Again, Albanian connection with the death of Fabio. We were wondering how they have managed to get in there. Crystal Network Global Enterprise. Now you see how we have found the connection of it. Registered name, DL. Organization, his name. And very interesting how he has been at this business killing people, killing patents. Now when he says, I'm a patent writer, yes, what you've stolen from the basement of ministry, you have pretended to be the owner. Now we are asking the Ministry of Economic Affairs to open the books of this gentleman. Because it has to be opened, doesn't matter how much they want to hide, how much they want to protect the nation that it can submit new ideas, and trying to, in a way, stop this mayhem which he has started. I'll read it for you what is on the internet from the Antwerp. It says, the Antwerp public prosecutor complaint has been against the inventor of the popular game Cubically Happy. The complaint is itself an inventor. Claims that the inventor of the Diridim, DL, is an elderly born Brussels man. DL is accused of scams to take the invention of this gentleman. And they give you, this is what is in the public domain. And it's part of a newspaper. And you see it there. There is a prosecutor complaint. He intimidated, and through his connection, the way they do with the prosecutors in Kortrijk, pressurized that well-organized people. They made a lot of money out of being happily cubed. Now, please, securities, release the fact about this little murderer. The biggest criminal Belgium has seen. Most probably by the time they finish with it, he'll bypass the truth. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. I think we can do something. I am going to show to release, because it's a publication in the press. Do we need to bring ourselves down? And it goes back that the go on the facts about him and read the paper, find the paper, you're Belgians, and find out how the owner of the patent suddenly had a heart problem, and suddenly after a while died off because of the same heart problem. This is absolute madness how the Belgians have allowed this man to go and patent application. Because he knew he's stolen, he'll never be given. This is how it works. That's why he went to America and he lost the case because he had no case. He was pretending a copyright because he could not deliver the reality of it. We are receiving so much information from every direction. We are receiving vast amount of information from every direction. There are other things which is sitting in the background with the same man and the people who is associated with. You will hear from us about Rothschild Group very soon. We always kept till we had, we can, we deliver, we possess. What we possess in information is shared with you. As I said, we spend a lot of time, but if we can stop one more inventor around the world, one more scientist around the world, freely sharing his knowledge without being intimidated and killed, we have served the humanity. The father has a child and a family. You have to see and talk to the son of Mr. Slout. In his 30s, he still hasn't come to understand how he was in the room when the poison was given to his father and he died the next day. It affects him a lifetime. He has no confidence in living. He's in hospital. They don't destroy a patent, they destroy life of people, and this is what is done. If you can poison slowly your own blood to die, what has given you life, nobody else matters. And then you call it a cancer, or you call it something else. Murders are piling up on DL. In a way, he asked us, please catch me. I'm getting tired of not being caught. I give you a chip up. All these writings, rubbish about Keshe Foundation, was catch me if you can. Now we caught you. You're touched. We release so much information. All the facts about him is read continuously by the police forces around the world. Because now they're all looking. Any country he's traveled to, he has left a trail of murders. And that's what they want to know. He was a frequent visitor to America. The group which captured Sterling are working on him to see how places, which places and what children went missing the day he was there. It's huge. We have, thanks to all of you, I sincerely thank the security team. I sincerely thank the Belgian public who started feeding us with information. I think we could have never known, we could never imagine member of his own family listen to these teachings, and they could not understand how is this possible, and they are feeding us information. How members of the public have started digging around this organization of him with children. When you see a website, we never talk out of line. Securities, please release the website where he's on top of the page, the same as he was with the Belgian politician with his picture on it, and down below, network for children. And when you click on it, ends up in a porn website. Porno, absolute beyond. And most probably beyond it, if you have the right password, children are there too. Website registered in the name, started in the name of DL. Now you understand. We'll give you more. We have to spend time. We are spending huge amount of resources. We are spending a lot of time. Now we found a serial murderer, a serial child abuser. Don't forget, a policeman told me something very, very seriously in the past few hours, 24 hours, 48 hours. He said, you know, his lover in Karnataka, her name is, some of you know, was to be killed. It was an accident that I happened to be there. I was following it to make sure that she is dead, but she survived a horrendous accident. And then the husband divorced her. And then it was on the hand of the ill. And then, if you have managed to poison to kill your own blood, why not? But this time the wife found out, he was put on the street. What are you doing 2 o'clock in the morning with a woman down the street in whatever area? That's where the body was found, to get disposed of. Nobody was there to see. The tracks could be covered. Most probably he spoke to her about how he killed others and how he patterns things. So we close with this, but we don't finish with this. Because now we know he has killed another inventor. We know it's in publication in newspapers. Prosecutors went for him, but they didn't have enough evidence to get him. Now we have plenty of evidence. We are going back to the same prosecutor to open the case. Now we know he's killed more. We are going back, we are encouraging the prosecutors around the world to start bringing the DL in. Very soon, somebody will issue the full, but the thing is, it's so horrendous, they don't even know where to start. When you can kill your own blood, you can kill anybody. Thank you very much for listening. Please, Belgian public, look into all the affairs of DL, how he became to become part of the ministry at such a high level at a young age, who is promoting him to the high level, that he could do everything and get away with it, and who is still giving him information from the latest patents that he is submitting one after another in subjects he has no idea about. When he kills or intimidates. Thank you very much. Sorry to be a bearer of very good news. We're getting one of the biggest serial murderers out of the scene in Antwerp. And I'm telling you, sir, you are watched by highly security services all around you, because you have touched people in Italy, in Holland, in Belgium, in the United States, in Singapore, in Sierra Leone, in Singapore, in Australia, because there are some murders connected with this in other countries. So, sir, you are touched. You cried to us to catch you. You wrote, I'm still free. Now count your days of freedom.